So Sanjay, take you back to the example of the entrance into IIT JEE and getting the top ranks. How does that advice juxtapose against the saying that if you aim for the stars, you'll at least land on the rooftop? So maybe not IIT, but at least you'll then get into the tier 1, tier 2 engineering colleges, and you can still pursue a career of your choice.
Now, this is fun because most people, this example may not suit here. The reason being, if you look at even only Maharashtra has 40,000 engineering seats, 40,000, and only 30,000 people end up taking colleges. 10,000 seats go vacant every year. So this will not work. This will work where there is scarcity. But today there is no scarcity. The point is, the problem is everybody thinks that if I get into X college, which is near my house, and into that, and only then I will be successful, which is again not true. So once the market opens up, the problems at that time were because education was controlled. Even now it is to a certain extent controlled, but the opening up of education sector has given more options. Even still there is an education bill pending, which I'm sure will get through, where foreign universities will be allowed to set up in India. Right now they are not allowed to do that. So once that happens, a person will have a best choice. If I want to do computer software applications, engineering, studies, I should have the options of XYZ 10, 20 colleges. Like in US, there are, for every course, there are 3,000 colleges. So the person has a choice. The career is not a straight jacket solution that this is how it works. It will not work the same for everybody. Everybody has to have a unique career path, career plan, and a proper guidance of how to go about. There will be several ways of reaching.
Absolutely.
It all depends on your financial situation, your situation, physical situation at that time. But it all can be thought of and created as a strategy. And every person can create a career plan. Be it if he wants to become a fisheries expert, or if he wants to become a nuclear scientist or an astronomer. Obviously, the ratios will differ based on the situations, but that is where you have to be aware of.
Sure.
And also there has to be a plan B, plan C. That's why we always tell people that many a times it's like, I want to become an actor. I may have it to become an actor. I may try to, but there are certain careers which are not really entirely dependent on efforts, and because of the opportunities, the limitations, and there is another factor which we cannot control. So that factor, in some cases, you have to also look at all those aspects and be more realistic, but not just blindly jump behind something and get frustrated. If you go with the awareness, you end up reaching somewhere that where you plan to go on that path.
Correct. So Sanjay, we spoke about universities and some reputed universities, and especially about allowing some universities, some foreign universities, to set up shop in India. But will the university or the name of the university in the future matter really with the setting up of online universities? And for example, Coursera today offers certificates from most of the reputed universities. Google is setting up its own Google University, and certificate from Google, which is like, you do a 6 months courses with Google, and that makes you ready for a job which can set you up for life.
Yeah, that's another interesting development that's going to happen, is the entire old world, halos are going to break down, and that's happening. That is going to happen. As you rightly saying that now, previously, see, it was like because you had to get into the campus of a specific thing to listen to the ex-professor who is an expert with around 300 papers published. So when he talks, that's like when Einstein used to give lectures, that university was like, this is where we should be. But again, that part was the limitation of the previous, technologies or previous situations. Today, with the advent of online, there is no two ways that there is going to be no great value addition of having a specific university. It is all going to depend upon the depth of your knowledge. So it's all going to be now student oriented. It is not going to be the teacher oriented or university oriented. Of course, they can launch courses. People are going to look at what is the value, what is the input that you bring to the table, and you get compensated accordingly. So the global job scenarios are also going to change. One thing is very, very clear which is going to happen is people are now going to look at value.
Correct.
And that's the reality of the world. Slowly, I think now people are coming to understand. Parents have still not understood. But I think it will, I'm in that process of creating more and more awareness. and probably having with online, probably trying to create some videos, seminars, wherever, so that we make people realize the truth. They should face the reality. We are in 2020 already, and this is the fact, and this is how it's going to happen. So it's a quite dynamic thing and requires different strategy for everything. Every subject, every field requires different strategy. But education itself is a different segment, which requires a lot of mindset to be given. Right. And that's where I think there are think tanks working on the new policies also that are there.
Absolutely. And as you said, like, in the future, it's all going to be about the value that you bring to the world, and internally, it's all about the fulfillment that you get from doing that work also. And
right.
Rightly shown that, like, survival is all about, like, those who adapt to the situation are the ones who survive in the future. And technology has been changing for the last 20, 30 years. So all of these technological advances were available. Yes, people did not adapt and adopt them to the extent that this situation about COVID has actually forced them to do. And in fact, because of the current situation, the technological advances that we have seen in the last 20 or 30 years, we are going to see a much more exponential change in the next 5 years. We may not recognize the world 5 years from now. So, but what does this mean for students who are preparing themselves right now for, let's say, a career which 5 years down the line, they emerge into a completely different world? What will be the future of work? What will be the future of education at that point of time?
Exactly. See, that's the reason, why we again keep on telling people that, this is where the test like this will be very useful to you, because the test is going to check you for your responses and your to a particular situation, and based on that, what would be the areas where you would be a best fit. Now, see, no matter whatever happens to technology, I'll again, humans will remain humans. That part will not change. Humans will need the basics of food, and so food industry related industry will not change. Medicine, that related industry will. There would be variation in types of medicines. Ayurveda will come in, something else will come in. The shifts will happen, but the basic needs of food, shelter, housing, there will be a requirement. Entertainment, there will be a requirement. Again, religion is going to have a bit. I was like reading Peter Drucker, which made me shift to this education from tech engineering. I was initially into engineering sector, but after reading the Peter Drucker book, Management Challenges of 21st Century, that's where he's predicting that entire 100 years from 2000 to 2099, what are the changes that are going to happen into industry. And he says that only 4 sectors will have a growth. The others would be there, and there will be internal churning. Some will die. But you have to be aware about the entire shift. So it is not that manufacturing or car manufacturing will go, but the types of cars will change. The types of manufacturing, green cars, solar-based cars, hydrogen cell-based cars, all these. That's the churning that will internally happen. So the natures of job will keep go on changing, and that's where we keep on doing the filtering part of looking at only relevant careers and keeping people aware of those. But the demand will remain. The nature will change. Yes, the way you approach, but because as we humans will not change. And that is where we need to see that the career that I'm choosing, does it have a future? Again, there are 2 aspects of a career. Now, whether the career is for earning money or the career is for satisfying my need for giving value, the whole world is going to churn away from making money. Tomorrow, nobody will question you how much money you make per month. They will simply say, what do you do and what value do you bring? So if I say I'm teaching 50 students, that becomes a big value that I'm bringing to those 50 students. Rather than saying that I'm here making, sitting and trying to make 50,000 rupees sitting in a bank. True. That doesn't make any value. So it's like, that's the entire shift that's going to happen. Another reason where I foresee the entire shift is going to go back to physical work. Up till now, people are moving from physical work to office work and online work and so on. But now, it's so much online. Like right now, if you see people, the moment the lockdowns have been opening, people have been coming out of their houses and jogging and trying to go to the gyms and doing it. Because they have been craving for physical activity. So slowly that's going to happen. Now with sitting home jobs, work at home is actually more worse than working, because there you go and come back. Here you're always on the job. So at night you're on the job, at day you're on the job. So then you are craving for this, 1 hour, 2 hour of physical activity. That's going to happen. So now people will start going back to physical activity based work, which may be farming, which may be forestry, which may be, working with the nature, whatever. We never know. Working with hands, potteries, designs. You never know which sector they'll go in, but there's going to be a big churn around, and I see a lot of changes happening in the society, and the overall global living factor, of course, is going up. It's going to grow up. So there won't be the problems of the yesteryears of lack of food, people dying due to starvation, and lack of medicines, and so that factor is slowly going to be taken care of as we go ahead. So the challenges are different for the next 30, 40, 50 years, and that's where we should actually all look at, whoever is trying to look at the education.
True. Okay. So finally, we have been talking a little bit about the NEP in our discussions. Now, the NEP, it basically envisions the future education policy as kind of a India-centric education, where emphasis is based more on languages, skills, and more about what value you can bring, as well as kind of what purpose the education will serve towards nation building, and how you would benefit the nation as well as bring value to yourself. So I'm sure, being in the education sector, you would have gone into much more detail into the NEP, and what can you tell us about it?
In fact, this is something which has not been discussed very strongly in the Indian media or anywhere for that matter. But the new education policy 2020, which has been given a basic guideline, there are people working on the final, details, and it will be presented in the parliament. But the basic structure, the skeleton has been fixed, that this is how it will look, and within that now everybody has to decide. One of the good factors of it is that it was a long pending reform required, because we have been following this education pattern since the Britishers came in and put it out across to us that this is how education should happen. And this 10+2 thing and 10th standard becomes a tension, because everybody has to score big marks, otherwise your whole life is wasted. And then 12, if you don't score, then the whole life is, all that stresses and pressures, and students committing suicide, all is because the entire the atmosphere and the pressure of insecurity, of things that if you're not here, you're not anywhere, you're going to be wasted for life. All that was created. It was not required, but it was created. And people who could survive and run out of it went through. People who could not, probably went through into the pressure and didn't come up to their potential. So the time has rightly been used now for changing the mindset to instead of 10+2, it is 5+3+3+4.
Right.
Now, what that means is, first 5 years, which is kindergarten, junior KG, senior KG, first and second. So these first 5 years are entirely going to be about knowing the child. It is not about teaching the child. So now the teacher will have the onus to create a record of that student, and the database would be there with the central government, and databases like Aadhaar is there. So it will be linked to that, saying that this particular child has got these strengths. He's good at singing, he's good with crafts, he's good at talking, he's good at writing, whatever it is. And obviously there is no testing part at marks and star, first and second, all that things out. Every child has to be graded for what they are, and then you give them, groom them, expose them to the entire thing. If you want to them to learn about flowers, take them to the garden, let them learn. And the teaching, let it be in the mother tongue, so that it is not difficult for them to understand and grasp. Also, it has been observed that people, the reason Japan, Germany, and for that matter even China, people have been doing good, because learning in your mother tongue, even Russia, gives you a lot of different approach and mindset to adopting and innovating, coming out with solutions, as compared to learning in it. Because when you think in a different language, work in a different language, it seems there's a mismatch which creates hindrances in your performances. So that has been a scientific approach, that basic learning, once you reach a particular age, you can learn as many languages, you can learn 30 languages, but the foundations, if they are strong, automatically it helps you in the longer run. Also, during these 5 years, you come to know there are children who are extra smart and extra intelligent, there are children who are weak, learning weak. So you can identify, classify them, create special education zones where such people are given specialized education to bring them up to a particular level. Again, people who are very smart can do it faster. I have always wondered how it worked when people, this Doogie Howser and all those who used to do a MD at the age of 12 or 15, and he becomes a surgeon and doctorate. So there have been special cases, but that is mandated by the government. But there could be so many people who are not, sitting in a class of third standard. They already are aware of a fifth standard or sixth standard problem. Right. So why should they keep on doing the same maths problem of third standard when they can actually use that time to learn something which is of sixth standard and above? So why not classify them and put them into a different zone and make them work accordingly? So one thing that they have brought is they have shifted the goalpost from teaching to learning, number one. They have shifted the entire system from marks and grading to trying to identify what is the level of a person, and accordingly change the system so that as they go for third, fourth, next 3 years, you then try to bring them more closer. If somebody is good at music, then try to give them music oriented. Somebody is good at skill oriented. Somebody is good at maths or science based or like in that orientation, so that the entire idea now here is, see, what I am telling is a person after 15 years, I help them identify what you are and then try to give them options, and then they try to fit in. Here it is going to happen from the childhood itself. So it's aligning obviously in the same direction, but now you get aligned with the education as well. So if somebody is exposed to music and if they are good at it, or somebody exposed to sport, you end up making good, like, right? Why are Olympians coming from China and Japan and Russia? Because they focus at the age of 3, 4, 5 years. And that's where India was always lacking, because India sports people start playing only after they are 12 or 13 years old. By the time you are not even able to play at international platform, because the career ends at 18, 19. So all these changes are slowly being taken care of, and now they are going to shift it so that by the time there is no board exam or 10th exam or so on, you just complete the 3 years and then you decide by the time you're in 12th whether you want, again, entrance exams would remain, the various professional exams would remain. The nature may change from online to offline, and teaching methods may change, but the courses may change, syllabus may change. Again, some fundamentals will remain there. For example, fundamentals of biology, fundamentals of history, fundamentals of civic services, all that, or fundamentals of geography. Then the syllabus, the boards will be given the freedom to decide. So various shifts are going to happen. Things are going to churn in the right direction. All you have to do is have an open mind and be ready. And if you have it in you, then be ready to learn, adopt, and give what the market requires and for that situation. And there's enough demand. I always tell people, believe in the abundance. There is always abundance. The only thing is, if you think that there is a scarcity, then it becomes a problem. So this new education policy, because of all these various aspects that are bringing in the flexibility of a commerce guy can also choose a science subject and a psychology subject, and a science guy can also choose something, an accounting. So all that flexibility, the engineer can also look at finance as one of the subjects we're passing. So all that is going to give them a lot of flexibility. Also, the education will not be compartmentalized as 4-year pattern and 5-year pattern. If you complete 1 year and you want to leave, you get a certificate.
So it's more of like, activity based, and people can choose different subjects, like, a person can take physics along with cookery or, whatever.
Yeah, it will. But again, it all depends on the board. Like a CBSE board will remain, the ICSE board will remain, the state board will remain. Now, what the board decides to give and what the board decides to offer. So within that, if for example, a school cannot offer everything. It cannot offer horse riding and cookery. So if you want to learn horse riding, then you have to go to schools which are offering them. And that's where the physical part of the schools will be required, where the physical skills are required, where online it cannot be given. So now coming back to the previous question of what happens to the old universities, if they invest in places which require physical involvement of training, somebody has to be taught physically how to work on a machine, or how to weave, or how to plant, or how to work with 2 chemicals and create a third chemical. So these are the things where there will be brick and mortar requirement, because you cannot do that online. So you will see a lot of churning happening within schools. So today, if all over India there are around 1 lakh schools, those 1 lakh schools will start churning within themselves, and now they will have to define what is it that they stand for. Just like every individual will have to define what I stand for. Now the school cannot say, I am offering this, so you pay me the money, and that is going to be out. Absolutely. What do you stand? What value do you bring? what's up if you again if the subject that you're selecting, if you have a PT teacher, what is the qualification of that PT teacher in terms of bringing value? Can he teach you yoga? Can he teach you various modes of exercises by which you can increase your stamina, whatever XYZ? So the value part is slowly going to churn out. Parents are going to now see, people are asking for fees, but now the parents will start asking, what do I get in return? Right now nobody's questioning. Simply they are saying, once I put in my child, if they give them an AC room, what they are teaching, I don't care, as long as he reaches back home and he's busy. So that aspect slowly going to go. Parents are also being going to be a big factor in this. In fact, in new education policy, parents have been involved at all levels. So whenever the child is graded, the teacher and the parent together will sit and analyze it and grade it. There would be questions, and now the teachers cannot, if they cannot ask the questions, they have to study themselves. In fact, there's an entire segment of teacher education and certification, which is there in the new education policy. So when it gets launched in 2021, the first batch of teachers will be trained. So all the existing teachers will have to go through those training and get certified whether they are capable of teaching in this method or not. Right. And everybody will have to do that way. So now by the time next 10 years, you will see a big turnaround in terms of students, in terms of syllabus, in terms of education, in terms of teachers. And then see, today also teachers are getting paid good. Government teachers are getting paid good, but they are not bringing any value. They are simply just trying to complete the syllabus, and they're thinking that the child will, whatever he gets, that will not work now. So the real teachers will now come in. Teachers who came only for the money and the salary part is going to go out. Now teachers who have a passion for teaching and who enjoy teaching will come in, because only they will pass through those segments. So that's going to send a lot of a change in the approach, in the quality of the output. And if you are not going to provide good value, obviously people will shift to the next school. So the school survival also will depend on. So it's all going to be linked with what performance based. That's it. If you one word, if you are going to ask me for the next 30, if you're 40 years, that's going to matter is performance. The more power comes back to individuals, the more genuine value addition can happen.
True.
There will be dynamics of it, of course, but it will be fun to watch.
It's kind of a mindset change for not just the students and the teachers, but also, of course, for the parents and society, and in fact, even the employers as well, because they are ultimately going to have to deal with the product which comes out of this NEP.
Yeah. In fact, employers have always been smarter than before. That's why you see higher unemployability. See, why are people unemployed? Because people are not, today I need accountants, but I will not take anybody in. Nah? So I will interview 100 people, but still not take anybody. That means the employers are always selective about whom they want to take. And that part was already taken care of, because you could have a gray area there. But once you come into the mainstream, here I cannot afford to have a gray area, because if I'm employing 50 people, I have to see that except for government employment, there was no accountability there. But in all the private sectors or public sectors or wherever it was, the accountability was there. The KRAs, what are the deliverables, why should I, or the HR departments, all that aspects were there. Even if it is not an HR, if a small shop owner also employs somebody, he will see the value. If I'm giving him 100 rupees salary per day, what is the value that work that I get him from? So that part was already sorted since ages. So employers never had an issue with respect to doing that. But now, what the challenge for the employers would be, yes, to select the best of the lot, because now you will see more refined. So if out of 100 or 50 are worthy of it, which of the 50 to take, and which of these 50 will go to the competition? Because obviously you don't take them, it will go to the competition. And if they go to the competition, do they bring your problem to your social? Like there was an interesting case in my one of the counseling that I did for a student. He was in instrumentation, and I had a B, and a career that came for him also was design. It was basically air duct system design and designs of air conditioning and so on. So he said, sir, ये career तो unique है. हाँ, unique है, but there are people who do it, and generally it happens in projects. So you start going. I told him how to shortlist companies, start applying to them. Most of them are in Pune, Aurangabad region. I said, you will have to go there. You cannot sit here and expect things to happen. So he did it for 6 months. He didn't get a job, but I said, at least you have a list of these, and at least these people know that you are one of the persons. So you just have to hang on and keep on doing it, and you will end up getting, once there is an inquiry, and that will happen. And after 7 months, he got a small job as a starting level, and that he used to keep on continuing. Even now, he's in touch with me. So he said, sir, I've got this company in Pune. Should I join it? I said, get a foothold, join in. Initially, you may not like, but you learn, and once your goal is clear, I want to go on the top of that mountain. How to reach there? You may not like the path. It will have thorns, it will have mud, but if you're clear, this is the way to go, keep on doing it. It may not happen immediately, but it will take time. But he stuck to it. And see, these are the case studies which I always appreciate, because these are guys who believed in themselves, believed in the goal that they chose, and went on doing efforts.
Right.
So he went on working for that company. Then based on that company, he got introduced to one, because they were working for some foreign German company in India and designing some plants, probably some projects in Gujarat or wherever the new projects are coming in. And he was working with this plant. And then slowly he got an offer from the other company saying that, why don't you join us? And he shifted there. And that was also a project-based company which was handling an India operations, and he was doing good. And he met me after another 3-4 years, and he's like, started with a salary of 5,000-6,000 rupees, and now it had reached around 50,000-55,000 rupees, because last 3 years he could see the value. And people, obviously, once they see value, they pay you. That's not a big thing once you. And then the fun part happened is that he thought that I should do an MS and I should do more study into this. So he came to me and said, if you feel like, you can always study, but if you're leaving the job and going, that's a problem, because you may end up getting MS, but with this experience, whether you end up getting job, because finally after doing MS again, you have to come back to the industry.
Right.
So if you are coming back to the industry, obviously that is where you should be at the first place. So ask your employer if they can sponsor you, and if they can, because you're going to add value to them. So he approached that employer, and it was surprising that the employer sponsored him. Not only sponsored him, there was no bond for him to come back. If you get a job, if you after completing 2 years, you can join us. If you get a better job, you can move ahead.
Right.
And there is no binding in terms of. I say, he was like, sir, why are they putting this whatever 20-30 lakh rupees in me? I said, see, the reason they are doing it is because they know this is a very narrow industry. Tomorrow, once you reach a particular level, you will join one of these top 10 companies who are into this project making, or the consultants below them who are another 20-25. You cannot go out of the industry. They are working in India. They were always working on projects. Tomorrow you join any top ranked company there, and there is a tender and the tenders would be in hundreds of crores rupees, and you are the person there. They will obviously ask you to that, if you can give us value addition, and you will obviously be very positive to them, because they have created you, they have brought you, so they have seen that in you, that this is going to be a loyal person. And that's how they are investing. There's an indirect investment happening in you. So even if you grow, because they know that this is the value you will bring in future. I'm investing 30 lakh rupees because I can earn 300 crores from you after 2 years, once you reach in some top rank positions in some top ranked MNCs. So the entire churning is going to change from the employer point of view also. So there's going to be a big, dynamic change where you will see people sponsoring education, people sponsoring everything and still paying you money. And on the other hand, there will be people working but still getting fraction of the payment. So the employer will always see more and more value.
Correct.
So that's where the next 3 years, 4 years is going to be a big churning, and more work for people like you and me to create awareness, get people to know, to help them. And the fun part that I have seen, I have been like over the last 8-9 years that I have counseled more than 6,000-7,000 students. But one thing I have seen is that every case is different. No two cases I remember are the same. So that's where I see the fun, that the challenge is going to be one Sanjay Sawant cannot reach out, because everybody will require a person who will guide them individually with the same level of unbiased and genuine concern for their own betterment. So there's going to be a big need in this sector. Counseling guidance will require a big chunk of people. I always keep on telling people there is going to be the entire vertical is going to expand. So I always keep more job actually over the next 5 years for us to start creating more and more people and spreading awareness and helping them get the right tools. Because again, there are no tools, and that's where the CAP test that I was because there were no tools available. So even if a person comes to me and says, "Sir, what should I be?" I cannot tell you what I should be, what you should be. So unless I know, and that the tool was not available, that's where we created this patented tool called CAP test, and people can obviously take this test by going onto the website. Captest.in is the website. And once you go there, you can try to take the test online. It's simply a rating test. You have to give a rating from 0 to 10 to random life situations. I like to play adventure sports, rate between 0 to 10. So it's simple as that. So it's not about what you knowledge, and it's simply your response to situations in life. And based on that, the AI is able to capture more than 300 parameters about you as a person, and then create a report and map it and give you the top 25, 30 careers. And then after that, you get a report within 24 hours in the same login on online. And but you can have a counseling session with the career psychologist, who now is your own personal guide for helping you to create a plan for next 3 to 5 years, and whom you can keep on going to. Like people have been keeping on coming to me after 3 years, 4 years, at various stages of their, even like right now, even people who before changing job, they come to me saying that, sir, which of these two should I take? And then I say, probably send me your profile and let me check what role this requires, what role this requires. Here it is more about people, here it is more about systems. You are a systems person, so go here. So all these things can be, so this becomes like a family doctor. Everybody will require a family counselor. And this tool will help. That's what we are currently doing. We're trying to expand all over India by creating franchises, and we are trying to get more and more people to use this tool and become self-experts. So we don't want to be in the front, we want to be in the back, but we want to help every individual who wants to help and guide every person who wants to become a counselor to use this tool, learn how to understand and guide. We give the basic training there. We have already trained around 50 counselors who are working in this Raigad region, who are MA psychologies and MSWs. But anybody who has a liking for counseling and a basic control over talking and communicating can become a counselor. I don't see that it is required that you should have a basic background in terms of education, because that's where we are coming from. That education doesn't really decide career. What career is decided by what you are. So when we are saying that to the world, we don't want to limit anybody in terms of whether you can do it or not. If you have the profile, if you have the passion, then it's only a matter of training and expertise. And I've seen out of those some of the best counselors that I have are actually people who don't have a counseling background, but they have done a basic BCom or a basic BA, but now because they never thought about it, but now when I see them working, they are actually passionate about it. So it's all fun, and it's going to be more and more fun as people join in and the whole segment grows. So let's hope that this becomes sort of a parallel movement where people start looking at things the way we have been talking now. I'm sure with whatever thought processes we have shared, many people would have got some eye-opening points where they would have never thought on those lines, but that's how it's going to be. So either you, as I said, be aware of it, and the more you're aware of it and want to be part of it, the better, because the whole society needs to be reformed. So whoever wants to be part on this bandwagon will have a great future. I always tell, next 15, 20 days, 20 years, 25 years is going to be good for counselors, all counselors, whoever you are, because everybody will start requiring counseling. Only thing is where your specialization is and how do you position yourself. Absolutely. And it's not about the money aspect. It's more about actually being good at your job. Okay. Money comes from all directions.
It is going to be all about, more and more about change and transformation. And as we go along this journey of change and transformation, it's going to be the job of the mentors and the guidance and the career counselors that is going to become more and more important. That is where things like the CAP test that you have patented, that comes into picture and can help guide the students choose the right career paths and hence the right education choices also. So, well, thank you, Sanjay. It has been a very engaging, informative, and educative discussion. I'm sure this is going to be very invaluable advice for students, parents, and all the viewers who will be going through this session. Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, FB. And I hope we have started up a conversation where people start. This is the starting point where we have created many threads and we have left it open. And we would like that more people take to those threads and view and try to get more clarity further. The more awareness, see, whatever we are doing with this, is even with this interview, if you are able to reach out to 50 or 100 people who start understanding the facts that we are presenting. See, we are simply presenting facts and realities. If they see the sunlight, it is good that those 100 will be the first mover advantage for their family at least, for their children at least, because that's how things go. See, when I started off, I keep on telling, the first year I hardly got 3 students for the whole year.
Right.
But I kept on doing it because I knew that this is the right thing to do. And that's how from 3 it went to 50, from 50 to 500, from 500 to 1,000 and so on. So this graph growth, and that too has been without any advertising. It is simply word of mouth. simply by being present and sitting here where I'm sitting. It has grown because organically, that's where I see that a thing, an idea whose time has come, will surely start picking up. It will have its own pace and time. So the more people come in, and that would be good, and we would always welcome. In fact, that's where I would like to use this platform and again pitch in and tell people who are watching, they can visit captest.in. They should do that and have a look at it. If you have any inquiries, you can always contact me or FB, and probably we'll try to see how we can help out. I get approached by many education institutes, by many, in fact, as I said, working for Maharashtra government, for other governments, they keep on approaching, but the problem still is the mindset, and I am not ready to compromise on the principles. That's what's keeping me behind, because it would have been very easier for me to jump on the same side and start sending people to study everywhere and then take, but that's not the way I want to go, and that's probably the reason it takes time. But I'm sure as long as you keep on the right, the values and ethics is the challenge, which is what we are going through. But I'm sure the right-minded people will come across, and we have some big changes coming, and we look back to this interview once we reach somewhere that this is how it all probably started with respect to making people aware. So great, FB, thanks a lot, and we wish you all the best.
In fact, I would also encourage the viewers to, if they are interested in this conversation and have further questions, to either leave comments on this video itself or reach out to Sanjay Sawant on the captest.in website.